Hello. I want to ask you a question. How much do you think you spend on your phone on a day for average? Well, today I'm going to be going over my struggle with my phone and more specifically, my addiction with social media. And I want to go over yours. So for this experiment, for this project, for this speech, I decided to go 7 days without social media at all. And I want to go over what I learned from this and also the struggles that I encountered and also the benefits that I think I'm starting to live. And I want to talk to you about your experiences and maybe you can, or to talk to you about my experiences and maybe you can relate a little bit. This is my project on quitting social media for 7 days and seeing where it led me to. So I actually looked on my screen time, and I want you to look at yours too. Open your phone, look your screen time if it's turned on. Some of us it's not turned on because I feel like we're all trying to hide from it. But for mine, it said on average for this week, it was 6 hours. And it was at this moment that I realized I have an issue. I have a problem of spending, what is that, a third of my day? Roughly a third of my day, that's including sleep, on my phone. This could be TikTok, Instagram, on those apps, those endless doom scrolling, whether it's bed rotting or just looking at videos that my friends share with me, looking at my friends' stories, looking at this popular social media influencers and what they're posting and my favorite online couple or whatever. And all of these things, even if I felt happy in the moment, I feel like it was all masked by addiction. And I want to go over my problem with my social media use, and I want to talk about how I dealt with it for these 7 days. So immediately going on the first day, the day before my first day at night, I decided to delete my social media apps. So then the next morning, it was officially my first day, which the morning of, it was February 23rd, my first day of these 7 days. And the first thing I did when I woke up was check my phone. I reached over on my little nightstand that you see right there actually, and I reached over and I grabbed it. I checked my notifications, I don't see any. I'm like, that's odd. I searched through my apps to see if I can find Instagram. I don't really go on TikTok too much, so it wasn't my first instinct to go on TikTok, but I did think of going on Instagram. I can't find it. I think to myself, what am I going to do? I am so used to laying in bed for an hour, just bed rotting my life away, literally watching the clock on the top right notch of my phone, watching it go minute by minute. Each video is only about 30 to 60 seconds, so it didn't feel like that much. But when you watch 100 videos in your bed, comfortable, your life becomes comfortable. And you realize that being comfortable is not what we want. Yes, there's times of relaxation that we need, but when you rely on social media so much, it's going to impact your life. This study performed by Locus and Abdeyangi, it showed that 39.4% of students reported that social media negatively impacted assignment completion. Removing this distraction may give you better clarity and an overall better tendency to focus on what's important. For me, as a college student, and I'm sure that you are as well, unless you're the professor, then you're not. But I think we can all agree that we definitely prefer to watch TikTok or Instagram instead of doing our assignments or preparing for our exams, studying, etc. And I think it's really important to recognize that this impact that social media, such a small thing that we thought wouldn't make such a big impact on our lives, is having on our lives. It is having an absolutely exponential impact on our lives and even our social lives, which I'll get into later. But I feel like when it starts impacting your school or your work, you have a problem. It is actually an obstacle in your success as a student, as a worker. For me, a CNA, when it gets in the way of my care that I provide to my patients, it's a problem. And I think we need to go over that a little bit deeper. So this was just the first day, right? I was freaking out. Thankfully, I had to work, so being at work helped me distract myself from my phone because I was so busy running from patient to patient. So it definitely gave me a little breather from my phone. And even when I had my social media, I wasn't really on it at work. Definitely on my breaks. I was on my phone a lot during breaks, but we'll get into that later. So on the second day, I noticed that my morning was immensely better. Instead of reaching for my phone to go doom scroll or whatever, I immediately got up and I got ready for the day. I brushed my teeth, I got dressed, I showered, ate breakfast, etc. When I'm so used to not eating anything for breakfast, I finally did. Don't ask me what I ate because I forgot, but I know I ate something. And I also worked this day too. This was my Friday actually. So I was pretty exhausted from working 4 days in a row. But when I got ready for work this time, despite it being my Friday, despite me being exhausted, I was somehow more prepared. It was easier for me to get ready for work. I was able to get dressed in time, get my scrubs on in time, get my lunch ready on time. I actually got there 20 minutes early because I'm so used to getting held back this train on the way to work. But somehow, even with the train, I was still early. And this immediately led me to believing that reducing my social media, or in this case, deleting it, it led me to having a better morning. It might lead to you having a better morning. It led to me having less procrastination for getting ready for work. It was also allowing me to have better focus for my homework or studying for that morning of. And with lacking my phone, I felt like I had a better control of impulse control. And another thing was moving on to, or Tang and they found that social media addiction, fear of missing out, which is FOMO, if you don't know, and lack of self-control positively predicted academic procrastination. So they basically proved that with social media addiction or even involvement, it predicts your failure as a student. It predicts that you're going to lack, you're going to slack, you're going to miss out on assignments, you're going to not meet deadlines, etc. And they highlighted the importances of removing social media. I also experienced mental health improvements. By the third and fourth day, I did have class, and I also had work between those 2 days. I'm mixing the days because I don't want to keep this presentation too long, and the results were pretty similar. I felt like this was considered a social media detox at this point, and Coyne and Woodruff said that during a social media detox, it can improve your a social media detox can improve your smartphone and social media addiction, as well as sleep, satisfaction with your life, stress, perceived wellness, and supportive relationships. During my third and fourth day, on my fourth day specifically, I was with my good friend Andrew, which I always make the excuse of, I'm so sorry, I don't have enough time to be with you today, because I absorb all my phone into my phone. But with 6 additional hours to play with, to deal with, I had time. I had time to be with my friend. I had time to probably be prepared for school, so I can set aside time to enjoy my friendships, enjoy my social life, because I'm so used to just being in that bed for an hour every single morning, whereas now I can use that time to go have some fun with my friends. And it's funny because I even felt even despite these days being a lot easier, I felt like I was going through this genuine withdrawal, because I remember sitting in this chair doing my homework for an assignment, and I felt my head buzzing because I was so unbelievably bored for my homework. But despite that, despite all of the crap happening, and I feel like since I deleted my social media off my phone, I was able to finish an entire week's worth of assignments done. It was just mostly busy work assignments, but I was able to successfully finish all my assignments within these 1 or 2 days. And I felt like I was also able to study for my class, for my anatomy and physiology class, a lot better too. And I felt like this was the first step of success too, because I felt like I was so behind due to my phone activity that I was going to, I was just getting day by day by day. It was not paycheck to paycheck, but day by day, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like I was properly prepared now. I had the time to. And then from the 5th through 6th day, I worked these days too. but I definitely felt a lot more at peace. I wasn't super stressed with homework assignments because, like I said the day before, I finished all of them. But I feel like these days I was genuinely able to enjoy my day. I was able to. I didn't read a book. I'm not gonna lie and say I read a book. I don't read books, okay? But I was definitely. I went over to my mom's house. I said hi to her. I didn't spend any time with friends, but I could just relax. I went for a drive. I got some food. I was able to appreciate the time that I had. Instead of just scrolling on my phone for 6 hours, I was able to look at my day, look at the sun outside, get outside, go for a walk, and just be, really. I could breathe. I could be myself. I could enjoy my day again. And that was a new feeling for me. Like, it shouldn't be, but because of my phone addiction, I feel like it was. And even during my time studying, since I had so much free time, I figured why not study for my A&P class? I might as well, my anatomy physiology class. I felt like I had better retention as well. And I think that part of giving my phone got back a part of myself. I was able to. I felt like even part of my short-term memory was improved. Genuinely, I could remember the previous information from 2-3 weeks ago, even like before the exams I already took. And I was able to comprehend all the new material a lot easier because I think there was a lot less going on up in my head in terms of distractions and addiction, really. And then it was time for the 7th day, where I woke up and I haven't gone to church for a year because I've been just so busy or swamped, or at least I thought it was busy. I was mostly just busy on my phone. But I went with my family. I went with a family friend too, and she was literally crying. We were in the front row of the service, and she was crying to see me because she was so excited to see me, and because it's been so long. And I felt like during that moment, I was like, dang, like my phone took my life. It took I'm not really religious, but it took my unity from my family, my friends, the things I care about, not just my school work. Those are all busy stuff, but like the things that make me me, the things that make me enjoy my life, make my life worth living. It took it away. And I think it takes away your life too. So, recapping, I think it's worth it to skip social media because on the first day, I experienced anxiety, FOMO, stress. Those were withdrawment at that point. That was just withdrawal because it's an addiction. But then by the second day, I noticed I had better time management skills. I was able to manage my time with my phone and my assignments and my school, work, etc. better. Third and fourth day, I had a lot less temptation, distractions, and I was able to replace those with focus, dedication, and productivity. I was a better student. I was a better worker. I was even a student at work. On my 30-minute lunch break, when I finished eating, I would open my binder. I bring my binder to work. I don't have it on me right now, but I bring it every single day. And I study it because I have the time now. And then the 5th and 6th day, I felt like I was with family, friends. I felt like I could enjoy my time again. I had freedom with my time. I had freedom with myself. And when I was working, even though I was stressed with my patient care, I was somehow more relieved in my mindset. I felt like I had more peace when I was doing my patient care, when I was doing my rounds, doing my vitals, everything. And I felt like I could remember things better too. And then I also felt like I had a better family reunion. I felt like I was being reunited with family or friends of family that I haven't seen in so long. I felt more present with them. I felt more present with myself. With my own spirituality, I felt like it was more available too. And this was too good. My life was too good after this very brief 7 days. Long in the beginning, but it felt so relieving in the end. I'm about to cry right now because I'm just so I feel like I have my life back. So I made the decision to I made the decision to download all my social media apps one last time. I didn't look at my feed, I didn't look at my videos, I didn't look at my followers. I looked at my settings. I pressed delete account, I pressed deactivate account, whatever it was. I permanently deleted my accounts today. Today makes the 7th day, the day that I'm recording this video. This was my 7th day, and this morning, after church, it was just, I didn't want to have my phone in my life anymore. I still have my phone for other apps, school especially, but I was done with social media. And I want to ask you, what could 1 week do for you? What could 1 week of quitting this addictive lifestyle that you slave to every single day do for you? No, I need my enjoyment. No, I need to check one last video. I need to see my friend's story. I have FOMO. Well, guess what? You only have FOMO because of social media. Without it, if you remove the root cause of your FOMO, do you know how much more you could be? Even with this presentation, if you compare this speech to my first speech for this class, it is significantly better. And I know if you're listening, professor, I know you know what I'm talking about, because the last speech, it was so bad. But I know this one's longer, but my next one will be shorter. Don't worry. I know this is way over time limit, but I just want you to know, what could 1 week of quitting social media do for you? More importantly, what could one lifetime of quitting do for you? Because that's what I'm going to experience. I don't want to go back. And that's it for our presentation. And I thank you for listening or watching or whatever. And I hope you took something from it today.